The story of Moses. 1. The birth of Moses and God's protection. Pharaoh's cruel command threatened every Hebrew baby boy. But one mother, Jochebed, refused to give in to fear. She placed her son in a basket, setting him afloat on the Nile. Pharaoh's daughter found him and named him Moses, drawn out of the water. God had already begun his rescue plan. Lesson: even in impossible situations, God provides a way of escape. 2. Moses in Pharaoh's palace. Moses grew up in the luxury of Egypt, trained in wisdom and power. Yet deep inside, he carried the identity of a Hebrew. Though he looked like a prince, he belonged to God's chosen people. Lesson: God can position you in unexpected places to prepare you for your purpose. 3. Moses flees to Midian. One day Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. In anger, he struck the Egyptian down and buried him. When Pharaoh heard, Moses fled into the wilderness of Midian, where he lived as a humble shepherd. Lesson: sometimes failure and wilderness seasons are God's way of shaping us for greater things. 4. The burning bush encounter. While tending sheep, Moses saw a bush on fire that did not burn up. From the flames, God spoke, "I have heard the cries of my people. Go, I am sending you to Pharaoh." Moses trembled with doubt, but God reassured him, "I will be with you." Lesson: when God calls, he also equips. Hebrews 5. Moses returns to Egypt armed with a staff and God's promise. Moses returned to Egypt. Together with his brother Aaron, he boldly approached Pharaoh. "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart was hard and the struggle for freedom began. Lesson: obedience often brings resistance, but God's power is greater. 6. The 10 plagues of Egypt. Water turned to blood. Darkness covered the land, locusts devoured the fields, frogs filled the homes. With each plague, God displayed his power. Finally, the firstborn of Egypt perished, and Pharaoh released the Hebrews. Lesson: God fights for his people and shows his power over every false god. 7. The first Passover. Before the final plague, God instructed the Hebrews to mark their doors with lamb's blood. Death would pass over every home covered by the blood. This moment foreshadowed Christ, the true Lamb of God. Lesson: deliverance comes through the blood of the Lamb. 8. Crossing the Red Sea. With Pharaoh's army chasing them, the Hebrews stood trapped at the Red Sea. But Moses raised his staff and the water split in two. God's people crossed on dry land and the sea closed back upon their enemies. Lesson: what looks like a dead end is no match for God's power. 9. Manna and water in the desert. In the wilderness, the people grew hungry and thirsty. God sent manna from heaven and water from a rock. Still, they grumbled, forgetting his miracles. Lesson: God provides daily bread, but we must trust him one day at a time. 10. The 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. Thunder roared and fire fell as Moses met with God. There, God gave his covenant, the 10 Commandments written on stone tablets. A holy standard for his people was set. Lesson: God's law teaches us his ways and points us to his holiness. 11. The golden calf. While Moses lingered on the mountain, the people grew restless. They crafted a golden calf and bowed down to it. In anger, Moses shattered the tablets. God's people had already broken the covenant. Lesson: idolatry begins when we take our eyes off God. 12. The tabernacle of God's presence. God instructed Moses to build a tabernacle, a holy dwelling where his presence could meet his people. Through sacrifice and worship, the Israelites could draw near to their Creator. Lesson: God longs to dwell with his people. 13. Rebellion in the wilderness time, and again the Israelites complained against Moses, against God, against his promises. Because of their unbelief, an entire generation was kept from entering the promised land. Lesson: unbelief robs us of blessings God has prepared. 14. Moses strikes the rock. When the people cried for water again, God told Moses to speak to the rock. Instead, Moses struck it in anger. Though water flowed, God told him he would not enter the promised land. Lesson: even great leaders face consequences when they disobey. Ayah 15. The death of Moses. At 120 years old, Moses climbed Mount Nebo. From there, God let him see the land of promise, but not enter it. Moses died and God himself buried him. Yet his legacy lived on through Joshua and the people he led. Lesson: Moses' journey shows us that God is faithful from beginning to end and his promises never fail.